Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, all really helps out the channel. And let's crack straight on with today's first story. And it's from Throwaway at the D Word, who says, I want a divorce after 9 months of marriage, but people in my surroundings seem to find this odd and immature. I don't know if ages are required or relevant here, but I'm 29. Husband is 29, his colleague is 36, her husband is 34. My husband and I have been together for 4 years. I love him very much. Even now that I want a divorce, I still love him. I found out about 3 months ago about his colleague when I visited his office and she was there. Apparently they have been working together for 5 years and they are very good friends, and yet I've never heard about her until I saw her. Something didn't feel right at all. Now I was paying more attention to his texting habits, and yes, he does text her almost every evening, a few times a day in the weekends or when he's working from home or on vacation. I asked him why I never heard about this good friend of his, and he said we rarely talked about work since I never understood his field. I hate playing games, so I told him that it was still odd that I've never heard about someone who he's on daily contact with. He gave me his phone and said they haven't been on daily contact constantly, but it came in waves when she's having trouble at home. I read their conversations and it's a lot of joking around, calling each other cute names, her complaining about her sex life, jokingly, her asking intimate questions about me, her asking if I threw a good birthday party to him. His birthday was on June 14th. This text stuck with me because he was texting her at the party and she answered, "You must be bored at your own party or you wouldn't be texting me," instead of being with her, me. I told him that I didn't find this back and forth texting appropriate and I considered it flirting. He was taken aback but said he would stop it if it bothered me so much. A month later and it has started gradually again, and I showed him that I wasn't happy about it. This time, he came home with her to let her reassure me that nothing is happening between them. She was very ironic and disrespectful. According to me, that's her sense of humor according to him. She was smirking and basically telling me that if I had low self-esteem and felt threatened by their friendship, it wasn't her fault. When she left, I told my husband that I never wanted to see or hear anything from or about her anymore, and that if he would rather have her as a friend than me as a wife, that he should say so. They stopped texting. We had a 3 weeks vacation and we spent it in Santorini. Apologies about that pronunciation. She probably texts about 2 to 3 times a day. He answered her at the end of the day when I was in the shower or something. When I asked him why, he said she had marriage problems. I asked him if he was a marriage counselor on top of his career and he just laughed it off. When we came back home from Santorini, we still had 1 week vacation left. We went for dinner and a movie. She probably knew because she was at the same restaurant later. We exchanged hellos and she asked if we wanted to join them. I said yes. She was very pleasant and asked about our vacation, touching my husband in a friendly way. I then asked how it was with them because I've heard from my husband that they were having marriage problems. All 3 froze. Her husband asked, "What? Who said that?" And I answered that it was my husband who told me. My husband tried to explain with some dumb excuses, and I said, "You showed me the text she sent every day about her having problems, but that I was sorry if I got the wrong idea." She looked very angrily at my husband. When we got home, he told me that I was out of line. I had enough by then. I asked him if they had slept together and he said only once before he even met me. I told him that I wanted a divorce because I'm thinking they're having an affair, at least an emotional one. He denied it and called me silly wanting a divorce over text with a friend. Now, I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks and I'm adamant about my decision. I want a divorce. We're not fighting, but I asked him to move to the living room and I have refused intimacy and any type of physical connection. I spend more time out of the apartment, work, workouts and long walks. I spend a lot of time in the library or the movies, alone, and when I come home, I've already eaten dinner. I just take a shower and go to bed. I've spoken to my mother about everything I've written here. She thinks I'm making a big fuss about nothing. My in-laws have heard about me asking for a divorce from my husband. They also think I'm making a big fuss. I haven't told anyone else yet because I'm not prepared to hear how immature and rushed my decision is. He has tried to talk about compromise, stop being her friend, marriage counseling, and even find another job or to move to another city. But my gut's telling me that something is very, very off and that marriage shouldn't be this hard, especially this early. So then OP starts to reply to some of the comments, giving some extra information as well. So it starts off with someone asking, I'd be feeling that exact same way. The trust has been lost. Respect for you has been lost, and the fact that he brought her to your home so you could meet her. I'm glad you got these comments in with her husband. Good luck to your future. I'm positive you'll be much better off, and I'm sending you good vibes. OP replies saying, I thought that too. He's known her for 5 years and me 4 years, and yet I've never heard of her until 3 months ago. Someone so close to him that she could openly discuss her sex life with. No. Someone said, I'm confused why they were upset when you brought up marriage problems. Did she expect him not to share things with his wife? I don't know, divorce seems rushed if you still love him. OP replies saying, she probably didn't know he told me or that she wasn't discussing problems in her marriage with her own husband because he looked dumbfounded. The next comment says, damn girl, that's a queen move with a restaurant scene. You got them like deers in headlights. In my opinion, you're doing the most mature thing a scorned wife could ever do, and outing them in front of her husband was a good move. Maybe it wasn't intentional on your part, but still, that's the best way to do it. It's never too early for divorce. You had a gut feel and it turned out right. Your mum and in-law were just speaking as mums would, but I'm rooting for you, OP. You deserve a good ma. OP replies saying I was provoked by the touching, like they were on a date, and me and her husband were chaperones or something. Next commenter says, this woman is after your husband and he's obviously not opposed to it. You are completely right. OP said, this was what I told him in one of our last talks, that she's after him, and he's at worst reciprocating her feelings and at best enjoying the attention. Even the best is far from what I'm comfortable with. He said it's neither, and I told him he should stop lying to himself because I'm not buying it. At least have the decency to be truthful to yourself. Next comment says, why don't you let him just cut contact with her if he offered and save your marriage? If that friendship is the only thing that's affecting your marriage, if he gets rid of her, there would be no problem. Isn't marriage supposed to be until death? Not problems do you apart. OP replies saying he had 4 years to cut contact on his own and 3 months with me asking him. Commenter says, is there anything he can do at this point to repair the relationship? OP saying he's denying everything. Maybe if he took responsibility for some of his questionable actions, but no, he's playing 100% innocent. He's having an affair at worst or enjoying their flirting at best. He doesn't want to admit even that. Next comment, is he still trying to backpedal and get you back even now? OP says he is, and he isn't giving me anything to work with. Deny, deny, deny. At least admit to someone small like you're enjoying the attention, but no. He's so innocent, and I have asked him about when he slept with her. She'd been married for 12 years, so if it truly was just that one time, I didn't buy it. He basically slept with a married woman. I thought he had better morals. Next comment says, I might have missed it, but did you say how your husband responded when she made a joke about him being bored at his party? I really don't think you're being rash or making a big fuss because your husband has been so disrespectful towards you and your marriage by letting this woman take jabs at you and not telling you from the beginning about this friendship and their past relationship. Hope you're doing okay, and I'm sorry you're going through this. OP replies saying, every time she would make a joke where I'm at the bottom of it, he just doesn't answer. It wasn't just about the party, it happened multiple times, but the party stuck with me because I spent hours in the kitchen making delicious tapas for 25 people, and I thought he was happy because he's a foodie. So then the soon-to-be ex started their own post, which says, my wife is leaving because she thinks I'm unfaithful with my married co-worker. I'm not. She wrote a post here that went viral, and now she got all the reassurance she needed to believe that she's doing the right thing. She's the kindest, gentlest, funniest, and most beautiful girl I've ever met, and I'm all hers. I love her, and I've never loved anyone like her. I'm hers, mind, body, heart, and soul. Everyone who knows us is shocked. Everyone who's seen us together and been around us is saying that she's lost her marbles, yet she trusted internet strangers to tell her I'm bad news. And then of course the soon-to-be ex started replying to some of the comments on that particular post as well. So someone said to the soon-to-be ex, "You, the dude who brought home the bitchy married co-worker to gaslight your wife. The one who continued to text the co-worker even after she told you it was making her uncomfortable. The guy who slept with this married co-worker before your wife met you. Yeah, dude, that's a fuck ton of note from me." The soon-to-be ex replies, "That was so stupid and I apologized. Being stupid and being a cheater are not the same." Someone replies to OP saying, "Honestly, man, if you're not actually physically cheating, you're 100% emotionally cheating." Ex replies saying, "What does emotionally cheating mean? I have no feelings for my co-worker, not even before I met my wife. She didn't tell me she was married and we had sex on my first day at work. I was 24. Someone quotes that and says, "No feelings for my co-worker," and quotes again saying, "We had sex on my first day at work," and then goes on to say, "Pick one. Sounds like you felt something, even if it was just little you calling the shots." X replies saying, "I was explaining why I did a married woman. I didn't know she was married. You can do people without having any feelings towards them." A commenter questioned, "Did you make this post to try and change your wife's mind?" The X replies, "Yes." Someone then quotes soon-to-be ex and says, "I love her and I've never loved anyone like her." And it goes on to say, "But you didn't love her enough to respect her boundaries that you not text your co-worker anymore. She said you offered to move jobs or even move cities. You're only offering that because she said she is leaving you. Why is it men only understand women when the consequences of their behavior come back around and smack them in the face? You've made your bed. Now you know what you must do." X replies saying, "I wasn't thinking in terms of boundaries and I'm sorry for that. I just know my own feelings and I thought my wife had no reason to doubt my love or worry about anyone else. She's all I think of. I thought she knew this." Commenter says in quotes, "I then asked how it was with them because I've heard from my husband that they were having marriage problems," and all three froze. Her husband asked what? "Who said that?" And I answered that it was my husband who told me. And the commenter says, "Hey OP, what was this all about?" X says, "I was surprised that my wife would discuss someone else's private business the first time she met them. That's not her." Next commenter says, "Have you stopped talking to the woman to start? Have you told her husband the truth? I believe your wife told you to do so." X says yes and started looking for new jobs. "I've been going on interviews and I'm going on a few more next week. I haven't told the husband no. I thought his wife should be the one telling him. Out of respect, they also have small children." Commenter says, "Your wife asked you to tell the husband, but you're too much of a coward to do it. Have you even told your co-worker to tell the husband she cheated on him or you will?" X says, "I'm not a coward. I have respect for him. His wife should be the one telling him." Commenter says, "You don't even realize how much of an emotional affair you've had. It doesn't have to be physical. You snuck around texting this woman and hanging out with her, and your wife asked you to stop. It's about boundaries. Your co-worker clearly wanted you. You should never need to talk to another woman 24/7. That woman was just as wrong and clearly was lying to you about her married life to keep talking to you, which you found out when her husband responded to your wife. If you had no feelings, you would have respected your wife and cut this woman off, but you couldn't stop and snuck around. That's an emotional affair." X replies saying, "This is not true. I never spent any time with her outside of work, and yeah, I could have answered a few texts from her, but not on a daily basis and never behind my wife's back. I just felt awkward ignoring all the texts." Someone says, "Is it possible that this co-worker has strong feelings for you? That would explain your co-worker's behavior as well as your ex's suspicion of you cheating." X replies, "Maybe, or maybe she just wants an affair because she's not satisfied with her sex life." And then since that post and that information came out, OP added additional comments on their original post, which said, he's not doing anything to rectify the situation. He's just denying any wrongdoings, not even acknowledging that he was enjoying her friendship and / all the attention he's getting from her. That's not the way to solve problems. You at least confess to a lesser charge to be credible. He's panicking and begging, and it's hard to experience because I'm not heartless and I love him and I hate seeing him in pain. To which someone said, "Is he still trying to win you back?" And OP said yes, he is panicking and very distraught. "I feel sorry, but I can't help him. He must understand that this is over, and the best way to do it is to be firm." Someone replies to that saying, "You don't think him leaving the job and blocking her with some counseling is worth trying?" OP says, "I don't want this type of relationship, to be honest. I don't want to be the one telling him this is wrong. I don't want someone who doesn't take my feelings seriously until it's too late either. It's the most difficult decision I've ever taken, and it hurts so much because I miss him, but sometimes we need to take difficult decisions. Someone says she set her boundaries multiple times and he still violated it and even gaslit her. That's enough. Which OP replies saying, I don't want to have a husband who can't see how wrong keeping a friendship with someone you've had a history with from his girlfriend/wife for years is. And I don't want to have a husband who doesn't do right until everything is lost. So then the original poster, the wife, updates one last time, which says, hello everyone. As many of you know, my post went viral, and even though I appreciate the support, I wasn't planning on making any updates. For the reasons that my husband was very affected by the backlash. I want to start by saying, I never meant to hurt my husband or anybody for that matter. When I was venting here, it was coming from my broken heart, and I never expected it to go viral because people break up all the time. I'm sorry I hurt you. It was never my intention. I was still getting 30 to 40 messages a day about updates. I've been here long enough to understand it's crude to just ignore everyone who's been invested, whether it's out of thoughtfulness, reliability, or just for the entertainment. So I'm here now to make an update. My husband has now moved out. He left yesterday and moved back with his parents. They live about 4 hours from here. He's applying for jobs closer to his new location. Before he left, he apologized for everything and asked for my forgiveness. He's coming back next weekend with his friends and my in-laws to move the bigger stuff. He's only been able to pack his clothes, his PC, and consoles this time. We've also been at the bank to look over our finances. None of us can actually buy the other out of the apartment, so we're gonna need to sell it. Until we do, I'm staying and paying the rent, and we split the loan plus interest 50-50. It's very sad because I worked so hard renovating and decorating this apartment, but I don't think a 29-year-old needs a 2-bedroom at any rate. My husband has also promised to co-sign amicably without asking for trial period. This means our divorce is going to be smooth and fast. Maybe 6 months, due to us not having children under 15. My mother is more lenient now, even though she still thinks I'm ruining my life. She has accepted my decision and is showing me support, albeit very modestly. It's nice to have family support now. I have a feeling that I'm going to need them a lot the coming period of my life. I've spoken to the colleague's husband. Yes, this was a tricky one. If you have followed my comment, you must have sensed that I was reluctant fighting this battle. No matter how much you thought telling him was the morally right thing to do, I still found it hard to make it my business. My beef was never with her nor her husband, and especially not with her children. No, they are not my husband's, and I have no idea what their relationship was like, and I never thought it was my place or duty to interfere, so I was hesitant. The husband contacted me on Instagram, however, and we chatted for a while. I told him everything I knew and that my marriage was over. He thanked me for telling him and said that he didn't know anything about what's been going on, including her infidelity. I wished him luck, and he said he was sorry about my marriage and offered to buy me a drink in the future because he understood what I'm going through. So that's that. I'm 29, divorcee, and God, I wish I'm doing the right thing here. It feels like I'm just winging it for the time being. Good night. Now, I'm not saying like men and women can't be friends and stuff at work and enjoy each other's company, etc., etc. But this particular situation, as I was reading it, it just felt so inappropriate all the way through. And to be a fly on the wall when that restaurant scene played out, holy moly, that must have been awkward as hell. I just don't see how he can't see that it was an emotional affair. And it just felt like he was playing games even more, like claiming he doesn't know what an emotional affair is. I mean, they were talking sex life in text chat. That doesn't seem right to me. And whenever we cover stories like this and, you know, there's something going on in the background, for me personally, I'm not sure if it's the right attitude to have every single time. I just don't know if I'll be able to trust that person again. And I think I'd find myself questioning things all the time. You know, what's that person doing now? Who are they texting now? Which is not healthy for a relationship, is it? And the initial hiding or not talking about your coworker for X amount of years, who's meant to be like a real good friend, and you don't even mention this person once in, 3 years or something? That's madness. Maybe not madness, but it seems strange behavior to me. Then he decides to bring her home and, you know, it doesn't sound like she's trying to reassure her or anything, just comes to berate her and gaslight her. And wife said in this one, try to set up some boundaries and you need to cut contact with it, and he didn't in the end. So that's just further trust just being lost there. And I know this isn't particularly relevant to OP's story in some ways, but whenever I hear these stories, I always get this song, and I've mentioned it before in previous videos, from Baz Luhrmann, pronunciation again. It's called Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen, and it's got like loads of like tips about life and stuff, and one particular thing popped into my head when they mentioned that they're winging life at the end. So to finish off this video, I'm just going to quote a little paragraph from that particular song, which says, "Don't feel guilty if you don't know what to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't." And I always find myself coming back to that when I'm sat there thinking, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And then just remember, we're all on our own little journeys in our own way. But anyway, what do you guys make of this story? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What would you advise to OP? What would you say to them if you was like one-on-one with them? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for spending your time with me today. Getting involved in the stories you'll love, support and time always means the absolute world. So thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today